Hi there, and welcome to Binder Minder. It is time for some binder therapy or mail day. So it's been a week since I last recorded one of these, and it's a little bit slower of a week. My orders have slowed down a little bit. I do have some more stuff coming, but we got some new stuff in, and we're going to dive into it. So if you've never watched these before, essentially this is all the stuff that's come in the past week. I have, opened these and marked them off on my list, make sure everything was there, it came in safely, and it's the correct card, hopefully. So all we're going to do now is just kind of dive in and see what I had come in, and then at the end we'll put it all in the binder for stuff that's collecting, and then everything else I'll sort out into decks and whatnot. I think we have currently 5 different decks that we have cards that are coming in here and there for, between my wife and I. And then as far as collections go, I've got a whole bunch. The biggest two I've been working on slowly collecting all the special guest cards, which is kind of a never-ending thing, given that they come out with every set, and the Japanese alt art mystical archives. If you see any of those, I usually don't know I can't read them, and I don't normally remember which card it is. So if that happens, you'll see right here, I'll pop up and put the card name on there. Beyond that, there's a few other things I collect as well. Birds of Paradise, things like that. And then I'm working on these Rat Fiend cards. Anyhow, so I'll move this off to the side so that you guys don't have to stare at it, and we'll just dive in. Let's see. So, got a couple crab tokens. So I needed one of these crab tokens for our Pauper cube. I didn't have one, and apparently I ordered 2. The Thought Scour. I think that's for it's another deck that I'm not actually building yet. I needed to add a card. Same thing with this. And what I wanted, though, is since I completed all of our Templar Knights, I did want one Etched Foil Knight. So I picked up one of those with that one. So that's one that goes into the binder. And all this other stuff is for other things. I got a district mascot with the first place foil, gold foil, Rat Fiend card. It's one of the things that I'm collecting. And then I also, the seller happened to have a really good deal on these Wakanda skyscrapers. They're actually the Karn's Bastions. And if you're running anything that does proliferate or has a lot of +1 counters, these are always good. These are such a good deal. I picked up both. Next up, we got a bundle of cards here with one for my wife on top. She likes the cat cards. She's slowly collecting those. And I got her a half kitten, half, and that's all you see. I got the Capleon Triad. This is from Assassin's Creed, and I was just trying to collect all the borderless human cards, all the historic figure cards from that set. So like Cleopatra and all that kind of stuff. And this just happens to be one of those, so I snatched it up. And the rest here are cards for decks. And that's another cat card. We got a Guardian Sunmire in the first place foil once again. It's already sleeved. Came sleeved in one sleeve, but this has got a perfect fit or something on it. Next up, we have Retro Second Harvest, which is never a bad card to pick up. And the main reason I put this order in was for this. Was this the Mimeoplasm? No, this is the other ooze, the March of the Ooze, and this is from Aether Drift. It's their Japanese art right there, which I just like the art. I like this card, and I picked one up for pretty cheap. I got 2 special guests here with Gulta Primal Hunger and the Carnage Tyrant. And then I started picking up a different secret lair that you guys haven't seen. This is actually, I got this order from Pandora's Deck Box, and I thought it was kind of neat. I left it in here because they included their little advertisement is actually also a treasure token, and it's just a rare cards box. Anyhow, so these old D&D Beholder secret layers, I've been a fan of these since they came out, and I've just put off. I didn't order it when they came out, and they haven't sold out on some of them. So I went ahead and started picking them up individually because they were cheaper to buy individually than to buy the whole secret layer. So I've got a couple of those coming in here and there. I don't have all of them on order. Eventually, maybe I'll get them. And then the last thing I got in, it's a pretty big order of stuff. This one is a little different. So all these regular cards and whatnot, this order right here, I typically don't get into proxies. Don't really do the proxy thing. I don't have a problem with proxies or anything like that. I like collecting the cards as well, so I usually don't bother with it. That said, so these are proxies. These are not regular cards, but for my white bordered mouse deck, I needed to get this card right here. This is a card that was made. It's the Mar-O-Nar in white border with English. You can buy this card in a bunch of other languages for $10-15, which I considered doing. But I wanted to be able to read the card, and they did make this in English in the UK. It was printed for a magazine, but the English version of this card it's just not for sale. No one is selling it, and if it did pop up for sale, given that nobody's selling it, I imagine it's probably got something I can afford. So I decided to pick up a proxy of it, and while doing that, I went ahead and picked up some proxies of some cards that I already own that I use in a bunch of decks in case I wanted to toss them into a few other decks. That way, I would have them around, and I didn't feel too bad about doing it. So, my wife actually has this doubling season in the Japanese text. I've got, between her and I think we've got like 6 or 7 doubling seasons. But I do like this artwork, and it's at like $150 for the English version. I'm just never going to end up picking it up. So this isn't foil or anything like that. So it's not like the standard version of the card, but I figured maybe I'll end up using it. Tetsuo, I can never say this name, Imazawa. This is actually the commander from my retro framed deck, but the version I have is Italian. It's in Italian. And I've printed a little piece of paper to cover it so that I could read it. This card it's like $90 to get it because it's on the reserve list. And so I decided, since they actually had it, I went ahead and tossed it in on the order. Maybe I'll swap out my commander with it since I already own the card. This way it's just a little easier to read. Soul Rings. Everybody's got Soul Rings. I love this art, but this is one of those that the Secret Lair is long sold out, and it's very expensive. So I tossed it in here. Same idea, the Felidar Sovereign. So Arena of Glories, this was just, at this point, this was me just adding in cards. So the 2 Arena of Glories, I've got a few of these. These are great in red decks and whatnot, and they've been going up in price, and I just went ahead and tossed them in there. Then I have a bunch of cards that are for my black and white deck that I've put off or basically decided not to put into the deck because they were too expensive. When I originally built the black and white deck, which is, by the way, all black and white artwork, when I built that deck originally, some of the cards were reasonably priced, and then they started going up. And when I say reasonably priced, they were like $20, and then they went up to like $50 or $60, and I was like, well, I'm not gonna go that far with it. It's not that good of a deck. But then there's just a couple cards that I've tossed around the idea of maybe as an upgrade in the future, and that's what these are. So Esper Sentinel, I can even read it. It's crazy artwork. Elvish Seats, the Doom of Fools, Carrion Feeder. So I have a few of these cards from this Secret Lair, but not this Carrion Feeder. And then I picked up an Overlord of the Hauntwoods. With this art, this card is popped off so much that these are pretty expensive. So, and then I have one more stack. The most interesting one being this Edgar Markov We do have an Edgar Markov, but obviously you cannot get a serialized version, and that's the only way you can get this art. And I like this art, so snatch that up. This is kind of the same situation, the Balin the Haymaker. This thing is like $200 at this point, I believe. The raised foil version is the only way you can get any special art. The standard version of the card is just a normal card. But this is also the ideal commander to run when you're running a Heir Apparent deck. And so I picked this up. Even though I have the regular version of the card, I can't imagine I'm ever going to throw down the $150 to $200 for the raised foil, but I do like the art. So those, you can run any amount of this card in this deck. Cards that I like so much, they all rely on this Thrumming Stone. And I've got 2 Thrumming Stones, and they've gone up in price. I think they're $20, $25 at this point now. They went up in price and they haven't dropped back down. So in the process of throwing all the things in my cart here, I know that I'm going to use these. I've slowly been collecting cards to build, a whole list of those kind of decks. So I added 3 of those in there. We have 2 cards for my wife's Storm stuff. But when we originally missed out on ordering the Marvel sets, I did order. You've seen me bring in the Secret Lair cards for the cheaper versions from the Storm Secret Lair, but the 2 cards that were expensive is the Jessica's Will, and then of course the Storm itself. We picked those up as proxies. Rhystic Study. I think we've got 2 or 3 of these. We don't have this artwork though, and I really do like this artwork, so I toss those in. And then the last 2 cards, 2 more black and white cards, Underworld Dreams and Seer Conrad the Grim. Funny enough, these are the exact cards both of these are the ones that were cheap, reasonably cheap when I built the deck, or when I put everything together, brewed it. But when I went to buy everything, these just kept going up and up and up in the price. As far as where I got these proxies from, these backs, you can see they're kind of greenish. And I'm not a big fan of the fact that it's an actual Magic card. In fact, I was really upset about this. I thought I was going to have to write proxy on every one of these until I noticed that they at least did put the proxy name on here, but I can't read it on the camera. But I ordered this from proxyprinter.com. They took forever to ship. But as far as quality goes, they're not too bad. There's a couple of cards, and the one that stood out to be the most is this white bordered one. I don't even have a card that I can show it to. I can do it on this. So what I noticed on the white border one, you could see a little bit better on white. But when they cut it out, they didn't cut it out correctly here. So I'm going to have to actually trim this down, because once I put it in a white sleeve, that black on the edge is going to be real obvious. But yeah, I believe they were $2 a card. Free shipping when you get over, I think the website said $45, but it was free shipping over $35 when I put it in the cart, which is part of the reason why I started adding in cards, because their shipping was like $12, $13, which I thought was crazy when I was going to order just a couple cards at first. I really only was able to justify the cost, because even at $2, I think it's not crazy, but it is still expensive for cards, for proxies. But that shipping cost made it pretty much impossible for me to want to spend the money. If I buy one card, $2, $13 in shipping, that's yeah, that's too expensive. But once I spread it out across a bunch of cards, I didn't feel as bad about it. Not sure how many of these I'll put to use. Hopefully I put enough of them to use to justify the money spent, but we'll see. Anyhow, I've ranted. I'm going to go ahead and toss all these and get them all sleeved up correctly in our perfect fits if they're going to go into the collection. Regular sleeves if they're going to be used later on. And I'll be back. Okay, and we're back. Got the binder out. Again, not fighting with the reflections too much today. Get past all the Jurassic Park stuff because we've got a Japanese art to toss in here with the others. And Transformers, Godzilla's, all the Fallout cards. Did not have any Mystical Archive cards that came in this week. That's kind of interesting. All right. We have, so here's the Socrates. We do have one more of these to pop in here. I haven't actually ordered any Birds of Paradise lately, but I did order one of those last night, so you'll see another one of those pop up soon. All right, the special guests. So for the special guests, we had 2 cards. We had Carnage Tyrant and the Ghalta Primal Hunger. Both of these are from Lost Caverns of Ixalan, so they're here at the beginning. Ghalta's over here. They're actually both over here. Move the camera. They're both right here. Ghalta is first right here. And then we've got the Carnage Tyrant. So I ordered this one originally and it got canceled. I still need to pick up this Lord of the Atlantis. My wife has this one, so once we get those, it'll actually be a page completed. And then over here, she has the Mana Crypt. She has the Victimize. And then looks like a little ways to go to complete that page. So it's a little bit hit and miss through the middle. My goal was to try to get as many of the beginning and the end ones, so I wanted to finish the Lost Caverns stuff if possible. And I still have quite a bit to get as far as the even the Aether Drift. This Chrome Mox, like I said, we're going to put that off for as long as we can. That'll be one of the last cards probably. Let's see though. She has the Bone Miser over here. And yeah, everything else is just a little bit more expensive. They're not expensive, but $10, $8, $20. So I just need to actually throw down and get a couple of these on order for the stuff, because guess what? This collection doesn't slow down. They've already announced 10 more cards from Tarkir. We've got 5 of the fetch lands, and then 5 of the ultimatum cards that are going to be coming in here. So we're already going to be onto this next page, which I've got the next binder ready. I'm going to have to actually move everything over by that time, because the next page here is our Raffing card from Aether Drift. Sorry, the camera keeps moving. So, which, speaking of, we have 2. We got a District Mascot and a Guardian Sunmire. So, Guardian Sunmire goes up here. And where is our District Mascot? I ordered this District Mascot a second time. Can you believe that? See, this is the problem. Somehow I managed to order this one twice. And I don't know how. We're going to drop that in there. Let's look at that. That's weird. I put them on my save for later on TCG Player. And then when I order them, I remove them. So I don't know how I ended up ordering this one twice, but I did. The Speed Demon, it's dropped down to almost 35 at times. This Agnosaur Rex is sometimes around $8, $9. And then these other 2 are same deal, they're about $10. So it's getting close. I'm slowly filling it in. It's kind of a shame that this page right here, which is looks pretty complete on this side, has the Speed Demon on there, which is going to make it a little bit harder. Given that that's a little bit more expensive, but 2 more over here and I can finish this page. And then for the last things, let's skip. This is all my random stuff that I like and I'm saving for different reasons. Some random secret lair, and then here's the secret lairs that we put in before with the cats and dogs. These last 2 secret lairs, I'm not going to put them on this page. SpongeBob's going to be coming shortly as well, and since I haven't completed these, actually no, I'll put them on this page, but at some point I need to just plan out and leave spots for all of these. That way I can fill in the gaps later on. So before I put the SpongeBob in, I'll have to make some room, which, again, getting tight. Maybe I'll end up doing the new binder by that time. Anyhow, I'm going to switch binders. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm in my, what used to be just my land binder, then it turned into a, Staples and other cards that I'm probably going to end up using here and there. And then all of our Relentless cards, all the cards that you need a whole bunch of, they started collecting in my other binder. I needed room, so they moved over here. So those are over here for now, but we are out of room pretty much for those as well. So our Templar Knights are right here. And then of course we have the pages of Templar Knights before we get back into lands. So we do have our one individual etched foil. We'll go ahead and drop that in there, and that'll finish everything up. I appreciate everybody for watching. I hope you have a great day. As always, like, subscribe, and ring the bell if you'd like notifications of our videos. Have a great day, and thanks again. Bye.